Hey everyone, and welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. We're here to connect the dots on the biggest stories shaping our digital world, all in one weekly explainer. All right, so here's the roadmap for today. We're going to start with the great AI shakeup, then move on to your next potential gadget upgrade. After that, we'll look at some seriously weird and fast new hardware, navigate the digital minefield of online safety, and finally, take a look at tech's past and its future. Let's dive in. First up, we are diving headfirst into the world of artificial intelligence. It's been an absolute whirlwind of hype, a little bit of user backlash, and a pretty intense race to build systems that are not just smarter, but safer. And we're kicking things off with a quote that's, well, it's pretty surprising, coming from the man right at the heart of it all, OpenAI's Sam Altman. He's basically saying out loud what a lot of people are thinking, that the AI investment craze feels a lot like the dot-com bubble. The tech is real, for sure, but the hype? It might be getting a little bit ahead of itself. So what's fascinating here is the massive split in how people are reacting to OpenAI's latest model. On one hand, you've got everyday users on social media saying it feels kind of robotic and has lost some of its creative spark. But on the other hand, businesses are jumping on it like crazy because it's faster and cheaper. It really shows that OpenAI is making a huge push into the corporate world. Now, while OpenAI is dealing with all of that, their main competitor, Anthropic, is playing a totally different game with its AI, Claude. They're not just aiming to build an answer machine, they seem to be trying to build a teacher. So how are they doing that? Well, they're rolling out these new learning modes. Instead of just spitting out an answer, it can use the Socratic method, asking you questions to help you find the answer yourself. And for anyone who codes, this is really cool. One mode will explain the why behind its code, just like a senior engineer would, while another mode will actually pause and get you to fill in the tricky parts. It's a huge shift from AI as a shortcut to AI as a tool for actually building your skills. And this all points to the other massive piece of the AI puzzle, safety. While they're innovating, Anthropic is also drawing some very clear lines in the sand. They're explicitly banning their AI from being used for cyber attacks, for developing really dangerous weapons, or for creating deceptive political content. It's a sign that as these tools get more and more powerful, the rules have to get stronger too. Okay, let's switch gears. From the world of AI code, let's talk about the actual gadgets we hold in our hands. It was a pretty wild week, thanks to a massive leak and the end of a long, drawn-out legal drama. So first off, wow. Someone at Apple had a really, really bad day at the office. In a recent software update, they accidentally left in the code for a whole bunch of unannounced products. We're talking a new Apple TV, a next-gen Vision Pro with a powerful M5 chip, new iPads, and get this, even a tabletop robot. It is one of the biggest accidental reveals we have seen from Apple in a long, long time. And speaking of Apple, that whole long, drawn-out legal drama over the Apple Watch's blood oxygen sensor, it's finally got a resolution. After a patent loss forced them to disable the feature in the US, Apple found a pretty clever workaround. A software update is bringing the feature back, but here's the trick. All the data processing is now done on your iPhone, not the watch. It's a small change that cleverly sidesteps the import ban. So looking ahead, if you're thinking about your next iPhone upgrade, you might want to hold on. The rumors for next year's iPhone 17 Pro Max are already pointing to a monster upgrade. We're talking a big jump to 12 gigs of RAM and some huge camera improvements across the board, including a 48-megapixel telephoto lens. It looks like it could be one of those truly significant leaps forward. All right, but none of these cool gadgets would exist without some seriously weird and wonderful hardware innovation happening under the hood. And this week, we saw a couple of things that are just kind of mind-bending. So first up, just look at this number on the screen, 15 by 17 millimeters. What is that? Well, that's the size of a brand new mini SSD that was just shown off. To give you some perspective, that is smaller than a US penny. But here's the crazy part. It's not just small, it's fast, like ridiculously fast. We're talking speeds over 3 times faster than the newest microSD Express cards. It's basically a full-blown NVMe SSD in a package so tiny you could lose it in your couch cushions. This could be a huge deal for portable devices. All right, so we've gone from impossibly tiny storage to a whole new perspective from way up in the sky. A new company called Anti-Gravity just dropped what they're calling the world's first all-in-one 8K 360-degree drone. And this thing, it's a total game changer, especially if you're not some pro drone pilot. because it captures everything around it in 360 degrees. You can just fly it kind of close to what you want to film and then do all the fancy camera work later in editing. Plus, it's so light, you probably won't even have to register it. It makes getting those epic shots way more accessible. Okay, so with all this awesome, powerful tech, there's always a flip side, right? A darker side. And that brings us to the digital minefield and the ongoing fight to stay safe online. So let's kick this off with a heads up about a scam that's been targeting Booking.com users. It uses a really clever and frankly kind of scary trick called a homoglyph attack. The whole idea is based on tricking your eyes with characters that look identical but aren't. So how do they pull this off? It's deceptively simple. Scammers send you an email with a link that looks totally fine, but they swap out a character, like the /, with one from a different language's alphabet that looks exactly the same. Your brain just skims right over it, you click, and bam, you're on a fake site trying to get you to download malware. It's a great reminder to always be suspicious of links. Now, this fight for online safety isn't just about scams. It's also getting really serious in the courtroom. The Attorney General of Louisiana has filed a major lawsuit against the gaming giant Roblox, using some incredibly strong language. She's accusing the company of basically turning a blind eye to predators on the platform for the sake of profit. And, as you'd expect, Roblox came out swinging. Their spokesperson called the claims categorically untrue and pointed to the massive amount of money and people they have dedicated to safety and moderation. This is shaping up to be a huge legal battle over just how responsible a platform is for what its users create and do. All right, for our last section today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to look back at where the internet we use every day came from, and then we're going to take a quick glimpse into a very wild, very robotic future. So you might have heard that AOL's old dial-up service is finally officially being put to rest. And it's kind of wild to think about, but so much of what we do online today, well, it has its roots in that you've got mail era. AOL Instant Messenger, AIM, was basically the original Slack. They had an AI chatbot called Smarter Child that was a direct inspiration for Siri. And they opened up these old forums called Usenet to millions of people, basically creating the blueprint for Reddit. And really, that brings us full circle, doesn't it? From AI that teaches us to gadgets that seem to know what we want, to the ongoing battle to keep our digital lives safe, we are living through a period of absolutely massive change. And now, seeing things like the first ever humanoid robot Olympics, it makes this question feel more urgent than ever. Thanks for joining this explainer. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.